After making the pants from this pattern, I thought about what I should make next. What do I feel like making? The shirt from this pattern was pretty nice, but I didn't want to wear everyone out with just one pattern. The second one was this vintage style pattern, which had some really nice designs, but at the moment I felt suffocated just by looking at it, and the fact that everything went up to my throat, and that's just too much. So I settled on this pattern, and the collarless style specifically. I have a pretty nice fabric in mind for it, but first, a muslin. I decided to try something I've never done before. In original FBA, a full bust adjustment has a marked bust apex that you run a line to through your bottom waist dart, if you have one, following the grain line, and another will go through the bust dart. The third line comes from the armhole to the bust apex. Both the armhole and the bust darts have a hinge. Both the armhole and bust darts have a hinge that you will see later that allows for spreading. But with a wide bust adjustment, a line comes from the shoulder seam to the bust apex and also has a hinge. With this extra cut, it allows more space in the chest area without distorting the pattern too much. Why the why? The pattern reads at 46, and my high bust is 45, while my full bust is anywhere between 52 and a 54, which is perfect. And I'm going to add 4 to 5 inches for my Y adjustment to make sure it fits without looking too small. First thing I did was cut out my bodice pieces 1, 2, and 3. I love this specific kind of pattern because it has all of the adjustment lines that you are going to need if you want to adjust your garment further for your body type. I then traced piece 1, the front piece, onto some scrap paper. I took my ruler and cut off the bottom half of the shirt at the designated waistline. You don't have to do this, but I found it helped later and made things more simpler. I copied the designated line 1 from the pattern and placed a line on the seam allowance, which is going to be our hinge that we don't cut through. I also made a line through the bust dart to the apex and made a hinge at the apex. I drew a line from the apex through the shoulder and made the same line marker at the seam allowance for a hinge. When you're cutting the hinge, you cut from one side until you reach that line or a little bit before and you stop cutting. And then you come from the other side, leaving some paper in between so it doesn't break. And it also helps to put tape over the hinge in case it snaps. Then you spread like this. The extra inches you want to add to your piece go right in the middle. I then cut a piece off the front right side and moved it down along the center front edge to help give a guideline and keep everything straight. As you can see, things like your armhole get distorted, but it's not something that you can't fix later. Also, you do end up with a very large breast dart, which you can either address or leave alone. Placing the bottom half of the shirt back down, it's obvious that they don't fit together anymore. So I cut up the waist dart and taped the right side down to match the center front. I moved the other half over by about 2 inches because I wanted the width in my chest but not the width at my waist, since the rest of the shirt should fit fine. I used my curve ruler and drew a new side seam that would be a little more flattering. I then retraced my entire front piece. So remember how we moved that front piece down on that center front? Well, we're going to take that measurement that we moved it and we're going to add it to the back piece at the line in your back that says lengthen here. If you're using this one specifically, it does say lengthen here. If not, it should be right around your waist. If this length was not added to the back piece, it would be too short and they would not fit together. Then I took all of my altar pieces and number 3 and sewed them all together. Okay, so here's the muslin that we made, and I've already tried it on, and I'm not going to wear it on top of this shirt, but I don't think YouTube would appreciate if I didn't have a shirt on and was just wearing my bra. So I went ahead and tried it on previously, and I already know what I'm going to do to fix it, but I'm really excited because it actually freaking fits. Like, it's new. So like, it fits. I'm excited. So the 2 things that I've noticed that are like real actual issues are my breast dart, because you can see here, this here is going to be the dart. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's a dart here, and unfortunately it stops up too high up on my breast, which I don't like. So I'm actually going to start it a little lower, maybe like, because the dot where it is actually my high bust. Well, not high bust, my bust apex. So I'm actually going to drop it by like an inch and then start the dot from there and then go down with the, what is this? Is this a pin? Dart? Dart, yeah. So start down from there and do the dart. And then this worked, but it's, as you can see, it's really big, and I'm not going to do anything to fix that. So all I am going to do is, I think I'm going to shorten it. So instead of having it be like so close, I might actually shorten it to start back here, so it's not like in the middle of my chest. So I think, I don't know, I kind of, I don't know. I might shorten it just a little bit so that it's not so long, and then maybe drop it. No, I think I might just shorten it. Just leave it alone like that, because like I said, it fits. I just don't want it up half my breast, you know. So I might just shorten it so it goes back just a little bit more to help create that. And then go ahead and keep this the way that it is. Also, there's actually a spot in the inside if you did the same thing that I did, and there's actually a spot like in the inside, and I just now realized I did not start my microphone, so bad audio today. But really? But yeah, there's actually a spot in the inside where if you did exactly what I did and lengthened it at the spot where it says lengthen on your back piece, you'll notice that the notches don't match on it, but it should be fine, because I'm a purveyor of just getting it to fit and look nice, and you can go back in and fix the way that the seam looks later. But you know, I kind of had to like finagle it, and at least as long as like those 2 notches were as close as possible, and the dart was where it needed to be, and the hole reached where it needed to reach, which by the way, also I'm gonna have to cut the hole. I'm actually gonna insert a few clips showing you these spots that I'm gonna fix. And I would say more than likely what I'll do is, instead of having it so that the lengthen line is in the middle of the back where the pattern tells you to lengthen it, I'm going to actually measure where it is from the front piece, measure on the back piece, and that's the spot that I'm going to lengthen it at. And then I'll probably blend the side seams the same way that I did the front piece. Other than that, I think the chest area is just fine. I was worried about too much space being up here, but I'll considering, I think it'll be just fine, and I'm just gonna leave it. So that's good. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna, But yeah, I think I'm just going to shorten the dart on the side a little more and drop the spot for the darts underneath so that it's not at my apex. It's like an inch an inch below my breast apex. And then I'm going to trim off some of the pattern for the sleeve, because the back piece does go up a little high. Well, actually the front piece goes up a little higher than the actual back piece, which I kind of foresaw in the first place. And really, you really don't have to do anything with your pattern with that. You can actually just cut it out like normal, and then when you get to like your actual like garment, you can actually just trim it so that it matches. It's not that big a deal. So I think actually the darts are the only two things I'm actually gonna mess with. So yeah, that's it. I am going to go ahead and upload this muslin one, and then I'm gonna actually show you how to sew the other one and if I made any changes. I haven't made it yet, so foreshadowing, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I probably didn't. I like the way it looks anyways. So actually there is something I need to do. So yeah, there's something else that needs to be fixed in the next video, and that video should not take me like a month to do. I'm actually almost done, and I already know my shortcomings. It takes me a while to actually sew and then edit. It's a change of mindset. So I'm gonna go ahead and edit this one, put this up later that week. This should be the actual skeleton skull shirt that I'm gonna make and show you how to do, put it on, show what it looks like. It'll be good, promise. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling, and I will see you next time. Bye guys. Folks, there we go. Oh, that sounds so Midwestern. Well, I am, so oh well. See ya.